What's up, everybody? You are tuned into the Elks Call from the Elks Herd. My name is Scout, aka the Rep from Section X. Today,
And
your co-host.
Catherine, aka hashtag even else.
Do you even Elks in the house? Kathy, how you doing today?
Doing well.
Right
Just
on.
just another day giving this a go.
Just another day putting
Just
up with
another day.
my
Yes.
BS. Uh, guys, thank you so much for joining us on our very first episode. This is the first time we're actually running it live. We're gonna have a good time with everybody here. Most importantly, we have a special guest today. He is officially the USA Southeast Director for Shotgun Sports Network and a USFL media member covering the Birmingham Stallions as the Stallion Stampede. Ryan Messer, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh, couldn't be more stoked to have you on, man. As our first guest, we've known you for a hot minute now, so really stoked about what you're doing down there. Stoked about the Birmingham Stallions potentially gonna get a chip.
Back to back, hopefully. We'll see.
Hoping for it. Hey, man, we've been cheering them on from up here. We do focus on the Elks for football, but the Birmingham Stallions are kind of like our USFL team now, so super stoked for them. I hope they get the championship right away.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Totally. I think, before we get into this, I just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping here. As in, let everybody know that this is our first episode. So I apologize in advance if there's any technical difficulties or if something doesn't go right. We are trying very hard to make this as seamless as possible. But so I just wanted to point that out in case there's any snags or anything. So we're super excited about it, and yeah, what are we here to do?
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about that Edmonton Elks game we just witnessed there on Sunday. 19 losses in a row as of Sunday night, so a little bit frustrating. So we're gonna recap that here with Ryan, and then we're also gonna do an Edmonton Sports update with TSN 1260 no longer having skin in the game. We're gonna go ahead and do some updates on Edmonton Sports, keep everybody in the know, and kind of build upon what TSN 1260 was already doing. So big shout out to those guys. We got to see them there on Sunday at the Edmonton Elks tailgate. It was really good catching up with Matthew Iwanek, Dave Jameson, Lieutenant Eric, all those guys, and they're in good spirits, and they've been out there enjoying a lot of sports games in Edmonton since that fateful day. So good for them, good for them. But we definitely want to build upon what they're doing too. And then finally, we're gonna interview Ryan, ask Mr. Messer here about the Birmingham Stallions, what's going on down in the USFL, and his background in media. So first off, let's go ahead and recap that game day.
We actually had Mr. Messer right there, Ryan. He took a look at the game because not only is he a Stallions fan, but he's a football fan. So he was definitely interested in seeing some of the games, and he reviewed the footage. So he definitely, I'm sure, has some things to say in this little roundtable that we have. But yeah, let's go in order and let's just talk about the game. That first quarter. Well, I got there a little late. I got there about maybe 10 minutes before the quarter ended, the first quarter. But that was when number 10, Sims, he did that kick return all the way to midfield. So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool thing to walk into. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that was a big play. Sims was a really big player in that one. I think his return yards were 260 something, 280.
So,
He had a crazy amount of return yards on that game, and then yeah, I mean that first quarter it looked like we were a good football team. It looked like we were competitive. We got a touchdown first. The Elks herd celebrated a little bit hard on the TSN cameras there. So we're really excited. We thought we were going to get some good traction there. We thought a win was in sight, but
what do you think, Ryan? What do you think of the
Uh,
first
you, you mentioned the Sims long return. The announcers actually mentioned that the Elks haven't even had a return for touchdown for in over 10 years. I was like, that's a crazy stat because we actually talking about the Stallions. Dion Kane actually had back-to-back games where he had a kick return for touchdown uh, in consecutive games, and I was like, to go 10 years without a kick return for touchdown, that's insane.
Yeah, we can't buy
So
one, man. We can't buy one up here. We call it the curse of Gizmo Williams, Henry Gizmo
Right.
Williams. He was the
We
legendary.
haven't had a single
Yeah,
player that then returns like him, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gizmo would do it almost every game. He would be running down the field and squirming through everybody. And ever since Gizmo left, we can't buy one. Like, I mean, we just can't. We can't buy a return. So like Ryan over here is like, yeah, back-to-back games, return touchdowns, no big deal. And we're like, what's that? What is that? What is that?
What did you say? What did you say? 10 years?
Yeah, you're like, wow, I think it's ridiculous.
A whole decade without seeing a return. So that was that. I mean, I personally didn't even know that stat, so that makes it even more exciting. And I mean, also for Cornelius, it kind of looked good, in that first quarter. He had that run, he ran,
Yeah.
he seemed confident. It was.
It-
It was something that we hadn't necessarily seen from him, so it was an exciting kind of start to the game.
Yeah, it's like a throwback to like end of year Cornelius
Right.
last year, right? Taylor Cornelius last year. He seemed to find his footing, and he was winning football games, and he was putting the team into those positions. But this first quarter looked like that, right?
Yeah.
This first quarter looked like that. And then Kevin Brown was the guy for the touchdown, so he ran that in. It was a strong arm and a hurdle, so it was really good. It was really good. But who was the other? Who was the other returner? Or sorry, not returner, but running back of the game that
The
had an
Toronto-
impact? Yeah.
Toronto's Olette, or however you say
Olette, yes, Olette.
I'm not French. I don't know how to say those. But I think that was, I mean, we saw a couple of plays by him and a touchdown. I believe that was his first touchdown as well on the first.
Yeah.
I believe, and
Tied it up.
That was kind of like a scary moment because suddenly he came out of nowhere and
He kept coming out of
and he
nowhere.
kept
That
coming
was
out
a
of
problem in
nowhere.
that game. Okay, second quarter.
Yeah. I think the second quarter we saw a couple of Cornelius stats.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think, when we started seeing his confidence dwindle a little bit.
yeah, I started to notice myself where he was starting to make poor decision making on trying to hold on to the ball too long. That's where it started to seem like it was started going downhill, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, well, and you're right. I mean, every time you take a hit, it does kind of hurt your confidence, but
Well, but at the same time, the Argos kind of collapsed the pocket. So is that more?
Yeah.
It's not
O-line.
necessarily just a QB
Right.
issue, right? It's not just a quarterback issue at that point.
But like Ryan said as well, it's all about those decisions, right?
Yeah.
Which we'll get to the
Right.
fourth quarter and the third quarter. But the decision making, Ryan, you're completely on point. You kind of need your quarterback to be able to throw the ball away, or know when to drop and know when to throw it, or know when to shovel it off, or just do something with the ball, right? And like you said, Cornelius, he started to get into that bad habit of bad decisions.
Yeah, then we saw, however, the first touchdown. No, was it
Second
That
one of
was
the game.
second. Yeah,
First
that was
one of the
Pure
quarter,
Boy.
yeah.
that was Pure Boy with
Yeah, Pure
the
Force
intercept.
pick six. Yeah.
Yes.
So Ryan, real quick, how do you know who Lucas Purifoy is?
Well, of course, I'm actually here in Birmingham, Alabama, so I'm a big Alabama fan, SEC, NCAA fan. So I've actually got my Bryce Young signed Alabama helmet right here. So, but yeah,
Love it.
he gave us a little bit of trouble a few years back when he was with Florida.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, okay. Florida Gators, right?
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. So,
That's
yeah, you
cool.
were not liking him when you were watching.
Yeah, and I think after that we saw a little bit of issue with the D line as well when they started letting Kelly in.
Yeah.
He broke that tackle. There seemed to be no coverage
Mhm.
there when we saw that, and that's when they went in for their second touchdown.
Right.
Too, so, but I think after that we had Kyron Moore, number 3, with a really good run. I actually don't remember much of the second, to be honest. But
Yeah. I mean, we brought it up close, right? We went into the half
Yeah.
down by 1.
Yeah, well, we went. I know that Cornelius had that really nice kitchen, and
And
sorry, our cat just came in. So if you
yeah,
suddenly see a little kitty walking around, you know why. And but yes, Cornelius had the nice completion, and that just led for Faithful to kick it home at the end of the second.
yeah.
So that's other than that, Ryan, is there anything that kind of popped at you, in the first quarter
Or second quarter,
overall?
Um,
sorry.
I mean, first half.
but I mean, yeah, like y'all mentioned the O line issues with it just collapsing on him. Like you said, it just got worse over time, and it was just like once they started that offense started, there was no stopping it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chad Kelly, I mean, we got to give Chad Kelly credit. That guy's been busting it, trying to get back into the scene. He was basically given his shot in the Grey Cup last year. Like he wasn't exactly given his shot right away. He had to wait for an injury and then come in and then finish up a game, right? So the problem there is that nobody really saw enough of Chad Kelly to be able to make an assumption going into this year. However, in my opinion, I already kind of thought that Chad Kelly was, because of the amount of work that he puts in, I had a feeling that he was going to be a good quarterback this year. Unfortunately for us, he did have a good first half. Now,
Well,
halftime, going into that
You
fateful.
know what? I actually walked away from halftime. That's when I stepped away and I went to the concessions to get myself some popcorn
Yeah,
and something to eat. And I was actually, feeling pretty okay. We did not go into the second half with the lead, but I was, just by the way that we were playing, it wasn't
yeah,
so
yeah.
bad.
You thought we could win,
Yeah,
right? We could
I
win.
had hopes, and then I came back, and yeah, that was Edmonton Elks' third quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's dig into this third quarter. Started with Cornelius at quarterback, and then we ended with Daggy with a little bit of Loxley in the middle. Catherine.
Yeah, well, we saw that Olet once again, such a powerhouse. He went in wide open for another touchdown, and
Mm-hmm.
then Kelly just went in right in as well, untouched for a 2-pointer afterwards. So that just kind of, I remember mentioning to you that it just seemed like the team gave up at that
Yeah.
point, that it just felt like they looked demoralized, they looked without energy. I saw that and I was like, oh no, we're
Well,
in trouble.
one of those touchdowns came off of a block punt, right? I'm pretty sure one
Yeah,
of
with
those. Yeah.
Julian. Julian had another block punt as well. So it was like a series of unfortunate events that we
Yeah.
kept seeing there at the beginning of throughout the
Throughout the
third.
quarter. Well, and see, the thing is with that is that the morale got low. The players started to shrug the shoulders, and they looked like they were disinterested or frustrated, right? They looked
Yeah,
frustrated.
yeah, they did. They did. And Oled went in for his third as well. So he
Yeah.
got a nice little hat trick on that. And I think I was reading some stats on that we don't see hat tricks in football
No.
very often. So that
No.
was a really good stat for him. And then Kai Loxley comes in and fumbles the ball, right? Just the last thing that we need is like putting salt in the wound, right? After
Yeah.
you see all of those little mistakes, after all you see how demoralized the team is, you see pockets that are wide open, you see no coverage, and it was not a good quarter. Sorry.
No, and then of course breaking down that Kai Loxley incident. So Chris Jones obviously had enough. He needed to get a spark. It's just like Ryan, Kathy, when they do the goalie swap in hockey, they're trying to pick the team back up, trying to get the team to do something, right? It's like the meme with the pointing of the stick, do
Please
something.
do so.
So they throw in Loxley, and Loxley basically had one chance. He fumbles it. He goes off to the sidelines. He's upset. They put in Daggy, and there was a short yardage attempt. And the reports, excuse me, our sources.
Or
So our sources say that Kai Loxley was told to go in for a short yardage attempt, which is the role that he's been playing all year. So he goes in, he goes to go in. Chris Jones or offensive coordinator, whoever asked him to go in, and he flat out refused. and a refusal in the world of football is pretty much your plane ticket home. So right immediately after that, after his refusal, Kyle Loxley went around like 15 yards, 20 yards away and watched the rest of the game from an area of the sidelines completely away from his teammates. So when that had happened, he basically took himself out of the game. Really disappointing. Have you ever seen anything like that, Ryan?
I really haven't. I mean, well, I'm sorry. I did see that one time in a college game. I forgot. I believe it was last year. It was toward the end of a season. A player refused to go in because he felt like he didn't want to get injured. So it was actually he actually got removed from the team. So
Yeah.
it was like you said. It is a plane ticket home. So
Wow.
I mean,
I think it
there's
was a
play, right?
big.
Get paid.
I think it was a
Right.
Big Ten team, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's a job, right?
It's a
Sometimes
job.
you don't necessarily want to do the things that you have to do for your job, but you're
Yeah.
getting paid for it, right? So
Well, and it's the team aspect as well. Like, I mean, you're never supposed to give up on your team. You're never supposed to give up on anybody within that organization as long as you're being paid, right? So at that point, like, and Kyle Loxley was still given an opportunity to go back into the game. Now, obviously, we don't think that he would have been starter for, let's say, this game coming up, but maybe there was a chance, right? Or maybe something happens to the other quarterbacks and now he's the starter.
well, and he clearly wanted that opportunity, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how many name changes or title changes he went through, and then he decided that he was going to be a quarterback, right? That was his goal. That's what he wanted.
Well,
right?
let's say
So,
even at Fan Day, right? We talked to
Right.
Kyle Loxley at Fan Day, and we're like, "Hey, you're the quarter. What is it? The quarter. What is it? The quarter
Oh.
wide receiver?
yeah,
No,
something
quarter
like that.
receiver back. I think it's
Yeah,
quarter
there you go.
quarter receiver back. So Kyle Loxley was, kind of marketed that as per the team and himself, and then he got a permanent quarterback position. And I had mentioned that praise to him. I'm like, "Hey, you're the quarter
Quarter receiver.
quarter receiver back for the Edmonton Elks now." And he's like, "Nah, it's quarterback now." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, no, like that's cool. I kind of enjoyed the play." But that's how much pride that he took in that job. So he fought for that job. He got there, and then it all fell apart for him. Who knows why? Like, I mean, no matter what, we're gonna wish Kyle Loxley the best going forward. It's rather unfortunate that that's how it turned out. You never want to see a guy
You
get
never
removed for
really
that.
know, right? It's a
Yeah.
whole lot of hearsay and rumors. But I mean, what you see is the impression that you're gonna get, right? And
Yeah.
that's what we saw on the field. And unfortunately, it didn't look so good.
No.
So,
All right. So Daggy comes in. He comes in that third
Yeah.
quarter, and then he balls out for the fourth.
yeah. Well, the fourth was kind of slow starting.
Oh no,
think,
he balled out
Yeah,
in between the two.
Yeah,
But no, he
yeah,
balled
yeah.
out between the two. Yeah.
I think it was like 10 minutes left into the game, like left of the game. That things just got exciting.
Yeah.
It was a very exciting last 10 minutes of the game. I'll tell you
Mhm.
that, right? We had, Sims again with another big return with 10 minutes left on the clock.
Mhm.
That was exciting, and then Biggie came in. We saw some crazy passes that he did.
The sidearm.
Sidearm.
He did a Patrick Mahomes sidearm, and we had the right behind view from where we were sitting, and he just kind of like goes like this and tosses it
I think
sidearm.
both of us went at the
Yeah.
same time when we saw that.
But we don't in the CFL. You don't really see plays like that, right? I mean, you got 3 downs. You got to get rid of the ball real quick, and usually you're going for a big play. Excuse me, it could be a running play. It's mostly either very short or very long.
Yeah.
You don't really have that slow grinding play like you see in the NFL, right? Or even USFL. So, you never really see sidearms. You never really see anybody starting their stuff. But Daggy's somebody that we've liked since preseason game 1. We instantly knew that this guy has some starter potential. Not gonna pump his tires too much because he hasn't even started a game yet. But that being said, in his relief appearance, and then of course preseason as well for that one quarter, he actually looks like a franchise quarterback out there. So we'll see what happens with Daggy. Ryan, what do you think of Daggy? Jared Daggy.
Um, I think he did well. I think he did pretty good. I mean, all things considered, it was only one game, so
Yeah.
I
It was
mean,
only 10 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
One
like,
quarter.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
one quarter.
So I mean, he did pretty good for himself
Yeah. I
for
think
what he had, for what he had.
Yeah.
well
Well,
is I think it's like what we heard today, right? That it's we still have to see, right? He was in there for garbage time,
yeah.
so we just have to see whether it was placed for garbage time or if it's actually something that he'll be able to bring into the game throughout the whole game, right? I mean, he did pass. He made a good pass. It turned into a pass interference,
Yeah.
so that prevented Gino, who is from getting the touchdown, I believe, so from completing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's where he got hurt because afterwards he also had he had a little bit of an issue after with the ball security.
Yeah, the
Right?
fumble,
Like
the
he
fumble.
fumbled the ball right as he was going to the end zone and about to cross. He fumbled that, right?
Yeah, somewhere between that play and the fumble. Yeah, somewhere between those, he ended up developing any injuries on the sixth game now, so that's rather disappointing. Gino, star wide receiver,
Super disappointing.
money man in the CFL. Unfortunately, second year in a row, we have the
I know.
most expensive wide receiver, and unfortunately for us,
Horrible
they are
injuries,
injured.
and we also have the Arsenault.
Manny
Manny
Arsenault. Who else? There's another big name that's on the sixth game right now. Aaron Grimes still on there.
Right. So
Got
it's
a couple guys.
disappointing. So whenever you see those, it's extremely disappointing. But
Yeah.
I mean, with 6 minutes left though of the period, it's just a game. Jericho came back for another one.
Yeah.
Right? So that was great. But then again, just another example of why we have to be careful with Daggy, right? Whether to see if it was garbage time or if he's actually a really good quarterback. He did throw that intercept that
Yeah.
resulted in a pick six for the other
And he
team.
did say he got fooled on that one,
Right.
so it's
Okay.
on him for learning a little bit more, right?
Of
But
course.
obviously he's out there kind of fresh, right? He's
course.
not.
But then right after that, we had yet another fantastic return by Sims.
Yeah.
So I was super impressed by. I don't want to say it out loud, but I did have a little name for him. I don't want to say it. I'm gonna get in trouble
Yeah,
if I
don't do
say
it.
it, so
Don't
I'm
do
not
it.
gonna do it. But right after that, we also had Iggy once again, right at the end of the game, on the first and 10.
Yeah.
So personally, that was a little bit of mild PTSD from the previous game. Getting to that first and 10, you're like, oh no, we're here
first and
again.
10s. Well, that was a first and one on that three
Or
times. I didn't
something,
make it,
right? Yeah.
But when you get that close,
Well,
exactly.
he got that close. I think they got like first or second and 2, right?
Yeah.
And but he ended up with a touchdown. That
Yeah.
First, so.
Yeah.
And then it yet again
That
at the
Hail
end,
Mary,
right
that
at
Hail
the
Mary
end,
at the end, yeah.
that Hail Mary that he escaped from the pocket. He got hit, but
I
he still
stepped it.
managed to throw it.
The Forbes mum blow. And what's interesting about that play too, sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
cut
no,
you
go
off, but Jed Roberts, shout out legend Jed Roberts. He dropped it in our inbox at the Elks Herd on Twitter. He said, "Hey, make sure that you check out what Josiah St. John did, right tackle, I believe. Yeah, he ended up actually pushing. He pushed a guy right around Daggy. So that guy was
Really?
not allowed to get to Daggy as per JSJ. So JSJ, he's doing all right on that O line. The rest of the guys kind of need to step it up a little bit. We hope that the O line gets it together this week. Martinez Ivy's in there. Ivy Martinez is in there. So he's going to be a bit of an improvement, I think, because we haven't seen that good of an O line right
Yeah.
now. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Any big points for you in that fourth there, Ryan?
Not really. I mean, they seemed like they tried to try to make a comeback there toward the end, but of course it was just a little too late. But Chad Kelly just reminds me of when he was back in his college years, man. I mean, it's just crazy to see how far he's come. Of course, he did beat Alabama the year that we won. It was our only loss back in 2015 when we won the national championship. But it was he's an incredible athlete, nonetheless.
Yeah, Chad Kelly, he's definitely on my radar.
Oh, for sure. I remember walking to the game, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know how this is gonna go because they have Chad Kelly."
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah, he's and see, that's the thing though, right? Is it's the players who are the hard workers behind the scenes. Like Chad Kelly, as soon as he won the Grey Cup, I think he took about 1 day to celebrate, and then he was back working out for the next season.
and I
Like
think that's also why we like Dayton so much, right? Even though he's
110%.
so new to this and we haven't seen enough of it, it's
Yeah.
just that characteristics that we see that are very similar to those quarterbacks that are going far and are doing well, right? Hard worker, studying the plays,
Yep.
making sure that he's doing his work, acting like a leader, right? Because that was one of the things that I noticed, and maybe that's just my bias, but as soon as he came in, the team kind of started lifting up. You saw a little bit more excitement. You saw a will to win, right? Even if it was too late, a little too late, there was still that kind of turning around from the third quarter that everybody seemed so defeated and with no energy and not looking like they didn't want to play to suddenly turning it around completely, right? So I've always, one of the things that I've seen is that it's who leads the team, right? If your leader has a plan, they have a game plan, and they have the right attitude, the team will follow, and you can see that. So maybe it's that.
Maybe he's that guy. And I mean, down in let's say down in college, SEC where Ryan's at, Nick Saban, the head coach, he's always going to be the leader down there because you got a new quarterback every 3 to 4 years or whatever, right? But
I don't know. Kirby Smart's kind of been putting a little bit of a hurting on us lately. So
that's not good.
No, it's really not.
You never sweat, Bama boy. You never sweat.
I know, but hey, it was nice having him while he was with us as our defense coordinator. But now that he's over in Georgia, he's kind of started up his new brand, and it's stealing everybody from us. So.
Well, yeah, the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, Stetson Bennett. I'm not exactly sold on him, but he does well enough to win a championship. So,
Stetson Bennett, I'm not 100% sold on him either, but he knows how to lead a team.
Yeah.
As far as a leadership aspect, athletic wise, he's decent enough to win, obviously, a championship, 2 championships. But however, I respect his leadership more because he actually knows how to go out and actually lead the team. However, he had the tools around him to actually lead that team. So I blame it on the tools he had around him.
Nice. I like how it's like not I credit, I blame. I blame. Like, this guy is the reason why Bama's losing and Bama's not getting these big chips anymore. Perfect. Okay. Well, I mean, we got our next game coming up tomorrow night against the Ottawa Red Blacks, June 30th. I believe we're gonna get a win. I believe in Dayton.
Somebody's gonna get their first win.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about this, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to say it. I don't want to jinx it. I don't.
Well, and we also have to remember too, Ottawa also has a home losing streak of 13 games right now. I believe 13 or 14 or something like that.
We're winning at something.
No, we don't. We want to extend their streak at the same time as we eliminate our streak. So I mean, or at least just get a win. We just need to get a win while we increase their streak. That's exactly what we're going.
We're gonna win.
I think so. All right. So cool. Let's wrap that up. Next up, we're gonna give you guys an Edmonton Sports rundown. Like we said, I mean, with 1260 off the air, these updates got to come from somewhere. We're not going to be the only channel. We really hope that all the podcasters and fan-sided media, non-traditional media, we really hope that everybody does pump up the tires on Edmonton Sports. So that being said, tonight the Edmonton Riverhawks are taking on the Bellingham Bulls again to finish up that homestand. They ended up winning last night. I want to say like 6-5 or 5-4. It was a close one last night. They also celebrated TSN 1260. So,
They
like
did.
I said, those guys are making the rounds right now. Go get the free beer, guys. Go get those free drinks. Uh, Tomorrow night, the Riverhawks will be taking on the Wenatchee Apple Sox. That's a name. Apple Sox.
Applesauce?
What is? It's not sauce. It's
Oh,
socks.
I heard
SOX.
I heard
Like
sauce.
like
I don't know. I kind of like applesauce.
Like the White Sox.
yeah. Oh, that's good. We definitely don't have any live scores. So can't tell you what the score is down there at Remax Field right now. CBL Edmonton Stingers. I want to say that they beat Scarborough Shooting Stars. No. They're playing against them right now. They're both 5-5. There you go. 5-5. They're playing right now. Once again, no live scores. We are not. We don't have that infrastructure. So sorry, guys. Apologize, but anytime you can make it down to the hangar, the arena formerly known as the Hive, down at the Edmonton Expo. Really good time. We went for a FIBA Canada game. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I had never been there
Yeah.
before. That was my first time going, and it was actually my first time seeing a basketball game live. So
Right.
I thought it was super quick.
Compared to football, yes. Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean it's done?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was good.
No, it totally is. We definitely want to make it down there quick. We got to get down there before the season wraps up because I think they only have something like 5 more home games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, their
well,
season
definitely.
wraps up pretty quick. As well with the NHL draft happening over the last couple days, some news that we have: AJHL Sherwood Park Crusader Ty Mueller was drafted by the Vancouver Canucks in the 4th round at pick 105. Congrats, Ty. And Edmonton Oil Kings defenseman Wojtek Fort was drafted by the Anaheim Ducks in the 6th round, 161 overall. Congrats, Wojtek. Lastly, Kathy and I just came back. We literally just set up this podcast
I'm
on a
still
scramble.
dressed like that.
Yes. I dressed down for the podcast, and she just stayed dressed. Thanks, Kathy, for staying
No
dressed
problem.
for the podcast.
Somebody's gonna bring the class around.
Well, we could have used the viewers. I'm just kidding. Lastly, Kathy. Okay, so we just came back from the Football Alberta Canada Cup kickoff party. It was an awesome time. 6:30, Chad's Jalen Nye, and then her husband Jim, who works. He's the marketing director. I believe he's senior marketing director for Football Alberta, and they're going to be putting on the Canada Cup in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It's like 2
that's
weeks.
coming up really quick. So, I mean, when it comes to local talent, local young talent,
Canadian talent.
Canadian talent, that is happening here right away. So if you didn't even know about it, what is it that you said is the best?
It's the best untold secret, the best unknown secret. Yeah, I mean, basically, June 15th, Commonwealth Stadium for the finals. They're gonna have another 2 games at other areas in Edmonton. I believe I saw Footfield on there, possibly Jasper Place, but definitely Footfield. Commonwealth Stadium is where it's all gonna be going down.
That would be on the, I believe, quarterfinals are on the 9th, the semifinals
Yeah.
are on the 12th. That is at Footfield, and then the finals are in
Commonwealth.
on the 15th.
Look at you with the dates. I wish. This is Dave. This is why you're on the podcast. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks to Football Alberta for having us down. We're super excited. Saw our good friend Avery. He's down there doing the media grind. Going to get involved with that as well. And it's something that hasn't really actually been promoted over the last while. Like, sometimes you know about it, but unless you're in the football community, you probably haven't heard about even the Canada Cup, right? It's U18 football. So,
And the exciting thing as well is that next year they're bringing the World
yeah,
the War. So
the World Cup,
the
yeah.
World Cup. Yeah, I thought there was another name for it, but yes.
No, flat out.
So-
It's going to be the Football World Cup for U18. There's going to be a ton of teams in there. There's a lot of representatives from many parts of the world. So
Everywhere we have, what did you say?
70.
Japan is representing Asia. We're already set with our Canada, Mexico, and U.S.
yeah,
candidates, so and
Yeah.
teams, so those are set, and so that will be a fantastic time. That will be great. So, I mean, if you want to start getting into it now, 2 weeks from now is the time to go.
This is it. Join
is
the
it.
herd. Join the herd. Getting on this. This is pretty much the start to the World Cup. So, huge event this weekend. We're this week. These next 2 weeks. I want to say June 7th is the official, July 7th is the official start to it. That's when the teams are coming in, and then July 16th is when all the teams fly out. So the 15th is it's a really big day. So that's your Edmonton Sports update. Quite a bit going on. Obviously, hockey. We got the draft, but we're still a couple months away from AJHL and the crew.
For the
And
Edmonton Oilers, we just traded away Yamamoto and Boston.
yeah,
so,
clean costing gone. Yeah,
That's
Holland cap dump for Ryan's team, the Detroit Red Wings. They picked up the cap. Sure enough, Ryan is a Red Wings fan, so he's excited. Look at the excitement on his face. Excitement in the puck. Whoops.
See,
That's my Dylan Larkin puck, so
Nice.
I just got that just recently, so.
You know what? I get it with Boston. He was asking for way too much money, I believe. But, I mean, Yamamoto hurt a little bit, I think, because he was just a little yam that could. And
Yeah.
It just
Yeah,
brought
there's
morale and happiness to the team. So.
on Twitter there's like the yam count, and yeah, there's quite a few gimmicks around him. So it maybe you guys are gonna see that in Detroit now.
I'm sure it'll start.
Maybe. We'll see.
Treat him well. He's fresh.
I like how Ryan, like, even the Red Wings aren't good right now. He's like, we'll see what happens.
I was very optimistic when Stevie Y originally became the GM, but I can see the moves he's starting to make. It's a slow process, but it's starting to get there. It's slow but surely. I believe it's going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, rebuilds always suck. I'm a Leafs fan, so it feels like the team's always in a rebuild. So we finally just celebrated a second round for first time I've seen as from me watching them. So yeah, I feel your pain. But you guys have recent success, so I don't feel that bad for you, right?
Not that.
No, not that bad. All right, guys. To finish off this episode, we are going to interview our special guest of the day in a segment known as "The More You Didn't Know."
Oh.
Because we don't want to get any sort of copyright infringement, trademark infringement from those guys in 30 Rockefeller Plaza. Yeah. I'm not gonna name them, but they're a lot bigger than we are. Let's just put it that way. So Ryan, here we go. First question: how did you start your media career?
Really just on the internet, playing around with you guys, just talking to you guys. I did get connections through a few different people because I work for a big corporation around the city of Birmingham, which is actually Canadian based. But it was. I've actually gained a few connections over the years because I've actually been able to rub elbows with a few people and actually maybe a little bit of a leak. I may actually be working on the MLB game at Rickwood, which was originally going to be the replacement for the Field of Dreams game. So
right, but you can't replace that. Like, even I was in agreement. Like, you can't just go ahead and put a game in anywhere other than Iowa and then call it the Field of Dreams.
It wasn't going to be called the Field of Dreams game. People assume that this is what's going to be in place of that until they get the repairs done in Iowa to the field, because they're actually making some new doing some new construction over there. So. Which they just put down $500,000 for Rickwood to get ready for that in 2024. So
wild. No, that's gonna be sweet. I've actually recently watched documentaries and everything else. So I think that's super cool, super stoked for you. If once again, if you do get in, you do have good connections by now. We talk
Great.
from time to time. You're part of the Shotgun Sports Network, and you've been busting it down there. So that leads me right into my second question. How did you get into running media for the USFL and the Birmingham Stallions? Because like it seems like one day, you woke up and you're making memes, and then all of a sudden the next day you're
We're
on the field. You're in the field
yeah.
filming these guys. So yeah, tell
You
us
gotta
about that.
go.
So last year I was just a big fan. Just love seeing football back here in Birmingham. Other than just college football. So of course, talking to you guys and working with you guys for years now. Um, just tried to get in there and just get rubbed elbows with my connections and shot it up, and it just fell right in place.
Beautiful.
I love that. The right place, right time.
Yeah.
Right, that's my favorite.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I mean, we did talk quite a bit through the process, but um, it's not very often that you just kind of like shoot a dart or come up with an idea and you're able to, execute it all within a week. And like I said, you're doing quite a bit down there on your own. However, the thought that that could even be a possibility, I personally was very, very skeptical that yeah, that this was going to happen. It's not that you could pull it off, but that this was going to happen because even for Shotgun Sports, we're even just a fresh media company right now. So
Yeah.
even with the CFL Combine when we covered that, we didn't really think we were going to get in, and we did. And kind of playing on that, you all of a sudden just
Yeah.
were in.
I actually was able to use that as leverage to establish our credibility. So that was
Nice.
actually, I couldn't have done it without you guys. So
Yeah, we'll have to do the same. Be
Yeah.
like, do you know what shotgun sports have access to?
Well, I may have
Yeah.
already sent. I already may have sent an email this week with that line in there, but yeah, moving right along. Uh, so question number 3. Uh, what has the season been like down there in Birmingham for the Stallions? Like a 2023 season. Give us a summary.
So it's been insane. Like y'all were talking about all the injuries you guys have. The season just started, right? I mean, that was us. First game we had starters out on defense, starters out on offense. Our quarterback went out. Starting quarterback went out, and our starting fullback went out. So um, it was insane. And all of a sudden, here comes Alex Magoo, which was actually supposed to have been the starter last year, but Jamar Smith wound up taking that role. However, this year he had an injury to his, I believe it was his pinky, but that actually ended his season right there. So Alex Magoo did great. He stepped up, led the team. Um, Bo Scarborough, he wound up having a season-ending knee injury.
Uh,
Um, Shark Dog, Scooby Wright, he wound up having issues with his neck and back, so they wanted to take caution there. So he was out for a extended amount, which he was very uh, helpful in this past game against New Orleans for the South Championship. So it was kind of a rocky season with injuries, but we had people that stood up and actually made it to actually became leaders on our team that we didn't expect.
well, next man up mentality is a huge thing in football, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's great. It's great that your guys down there ended up pulling that off and really embraced next man up mentality, and that's what wins you championships. I
Yeah.
mean, we aren't there yet, but you guys are
You
going to be
can't
playing
get
this
hung
weekend.
up
So,
on. Unfortunately, you don't want to say it like that. But you
yeah,
really can't get
no,
hung up on all the injuries and everybody that might be out.
Yeah, well, and once again, that's where stars are born too,
Yeah.
right? So,
Mhm.
same thing with Birmingham. It has a lot to do with the coaching, the playbook, and everything else. And for you guys down there, it seems like they're pretty solid.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
Okay, so number 4, you covered the Stallions from the sidelines this past weekend on Sunday when we were
Mhm.
doing our thing with the Edmonton Elks. Uh, what was the atmosphere down there? What was it like down there for the conference championship, and how was your experience covering that game?
Yeah, it was crazy. I haven't seen anything like this since it was actually the first season, the game one. So that was the most people I've actually seen at Protective Stadium since it's been built.
Nice.
It's only been there for a couple of years now. So, but it's pretty intense. It was crazy to see the city come together and actually support a team like this because
Right.
in the past we've had issues with people coming out and stuff like that, which we were afraid of because of last year with how few attendance we had with the
Mhm.
other teams other than the Stallions. Of course, we had people for the Stallions, but it was almost dead for the rest of the teams. But it seems like they're starting to come out here and actually support Birmingham sports again.
No, that's good, and it's funny that you mentioned that because even this past weekend at the Edmonton Elks tailgate, what was very very interesting is we had a guy from Birmingham, Alabama, pretty much, I believe, or he's from Alabama. I'm not sure exactly where. His name is Ron Montgomery. If you're listening, shout out Ron. He's awesome, and he swung by, and at the tailgate, he was like, "Hey, man, I'm a little bit. I feel a little bit guilty because." I'm not at the Birmingham Stallions
Right,
game.
because that was the Sunday too,
And I'm
right?
like, I'm like, dude, it's hilarious. I actually, one of our admins for Shotgun Sports is down there, like on the field right now at the sideline. So it was really, really good. Really stoked to see him, but thought of you instantly, right? So
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah,
That's yeah. And I mean, even now with us, we're trying to still the same thing, right? Trying to get that involvement with the community, get a
yeah,
little bit more involved and get them out. So I'm sure now we can see that it's not necessarily just an Edmonton problem.
yeah.
But
No, exactly. Well, and down there in the USFL, uh, special appearance by Farah.
yeah.
The USFL, they do a lot of hub games, right? So a lot of their stuff is hub based. So they'll have a couple teams calling one place home. So that's kind of the system that, and even last year it was all based out of Birmingham, right? So
Exactly.
yeah. So
And
and
I've
sorry.
there's actually been rumors floating around. I meant to actually ask Daryl Johnson, the vice president of this football operations, but to give me a official thing, but statement.
Right.
However, the rumor floating around is everybody's supposed to be at their home
Nice.
stadiums by next year.
Perfect. No, and that's that would be better for the USFL. Obviously, they have to make money. They have to kind of steamroll that project or snowball it, right? So, good for them. They
Yeah.
did open it up this year as well, and even McLeod Bethel Thompson, MVP of the New Orleans Weight Breakers.
Breakers.
Breakers, yeah, Breakers. So yeah, he was in the CFL last year. He was in the Grey Cup game, and Chad Kelly replaced him in that
Yep.
game because of injury. So, and also replaced him as starting quarterback for the Argos. So there is parallels from the CFL to the USFL, and of course even
Definitely.
the NFL and the XFL. But
Well, you talk
USFL,
about the NFL. Well, you talk
nah,
about the NFL. I mean, uh, oh, MBT, and I'm a big Vikings fan, so
right?
MBT and Coach DiFilippo were actually worked together at Minnesota. So
Oh
he
wow,
was
okay,
actually, yeah, he was actually one of our coordinators, and MBT was actually a backup quarterback for us.
no way. There you go. The more you know.
The more,
The more you
the more
didn't
you know.
know. The more
Didn't
you
know.
didn't
Right
know.
there, you
Didn't
go.
know. The
The
more
more
you
you
didn't
didn't
know.
know.
And well, I mean, even Mike Riley, right? My favorite WESL. He was back up to Aaron Rodgers in the training camp. So Ty Loxley, he was a preseason NFL quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. So you do have a lot of those guys that move from the preseason or practice roster, training camp, all of that. They do kind of move around, and if you don't make it to the NFL, you're probably knocking on the door of the USFL or the CFL. All right, last question is: how do you think the Birmingham Stallions are going to do this weekend?
I don't want to jinx it. However, I believe that the championship was actually determined this past weekend because I'll give New Orleans Breakers the my credit, man. They've played all out, and they actually other than the game this past Sunday, they've actually been one of the best teams in the league. So I mean, I gotta give them the credit, but Pittsburgh, I think they've come a long way. They went from not winning many games to coming on a stretch now. So I was impressed because in the North Division it was win or go home in the last week. So it was pretty interesting to see how that wrapped up. But I think I do believe that our defense will step up, especially with Brian Allen. He's been such a great leader, and now that Scooby Wright's back, he's definitely going to be. Them two are going to be stepping up our defense against their quaking offense there.
Nice. Well, and even you were talking about that Breakers game earlier on in the season. MBT and the Breakers ended up beating the Stallions, and then in that last playoff game there this last weekend, you guys absolutely destroyed the Breakers. So that's also a big indicator of how much they've improved. They're in prime playoff shape right now, and they won that game. What was the score on that game again, Ryan?
It was 47 to I think 24.
Yeah, it was basically a blowout. Or it was that you guys had like 2 or 3 more touchdowns.
Well, we split with them during the season, which ironically, Birmingham was the hub for both teams. So ironically, the home game for Birmingham we lost. The home game for New Orleans we won. So it was like we split, but it was like we won it away and they won away. So it was kind of ironic there. So
maybe a CFL team should use Commonwealth as a second home, and then we can do the same thing, and maybe we get that home.
It will still count. Right?
Well, everybody said that we won the championship last year because y'all were at home for all the games. Well, we weren't this year. Yeah. So you can't really use that against us now. So it was kind of great to actually prove and validate that, hey, that's not why we won last year. We were just the better team.
Totally. Well, and so far, based on that last game, the last score, you guys, I would say that you guys are well on your way. So we're definitely going to be cheering for the Birmingham Stallions this weekend. What day is it on? Is it Sunday or it should be Sunday, right?
It's Sunday. No, it's Saturday. Actually, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's actually on Saturday, the 1st. Okay. So.
Yeah, so you're up here because I know that we have our Canada Day game for the CFL, but Saturday's Canada Day, so we automatically block everything off. Yeah, we don't believe anything happens on Saturday.
We're not aware of anything else but Canada.
Yeah, only Canada. Only Canada. No, all right, well, guys, this was awesome. That's about all the time that we have.
Thank you, Ryan, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks a ton, Ryan. This was awesome. We hope your Stallions win. Go Stallions. And
go for Elks win.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pray for those Edmonton Elks tomorrow night.
Go
yeah, green and gold seance. No. Players to watch for tomorrow: Jared Dakey, new quarterback. Forbes Monblow. I'm gonna keep my eye out on him because he has chemistry with Dakey right now. Purefoy. I hope Purefoy gets a couple more of that Pennywise mask. Was that just money? And then other than
That was
that,
hilarious.
Make sure you get your tickets for the Canada Cup.
Canada Cup
Here
going
coming up
down
for the
soon.
next
We'll
couple of weeks. We'll blow it up. We'll send you links, whatever information that we have. If you're interested in watching that,
Yep.
you should definitely head over there, Commonwealth, and put a deal for the semis, for the quarter and semifinals.
Yep.
So make sure you do that. And other than that,
Guys,
we're all done.
my name is
Thank you.
Scout. This
And I'm
is
Kathy.
Kathy and our special guest Ryan. Thank you once again, Ryan, for joining us today, and thank you to the viewers for watching this. And we will catch you all next time on a new episode of the Elks Call. Thanks again, guys. Cheers.